Mr. Mayor, what's your stance on getting a new stadium for an NBA and NHL team? Grew up a long-time Sonics fan, shot for Buick when I was 11. A half-court shot missed, unfortunately. I don't know what I would have done with the Buick. Sports and other activities, like youth activities, kept me from falling into a bad crowd because I didn't have parents. I think they're important to the community. I think it generates jobs, revenue. It's unfortunate we lost a team like that. How do you feel about getting a stadium and get one back?
Yeah, so the question is about how do I feel about bringing a stadium, some type of stadium plan to bring the Sonics back, and the questioner mentioned, how important it was to him as a kid to having that team there and kind of the civic benefits you get that are just beyond the financial benefits of having a team. So the city has been approached by an investor who's very interested in building a new arena, and their interest is in building an arena somewhere near the current stadiums, and in fact they've been acquiring property, to that end. We viewed it as being it was a credible investor, credible potential, one we had to take seriously. We started off by bringing together people in city government who'd dealt with the departure of the Sonics, and the examination the last time that those Oklahoma guys were trying to, who knows what they were trying to do, but they took the team. But there were discussions then about what would it take. But we concluded that we really need to get some outside expertise too, after we looked internally. So we retained an arena expert from outside the city, somebody who's very knowledgeable about NBA financing. We acquired a tax expert as well to help us analyze the situation. It's a challenge in a number of ways. It's a big opportunity. We don't necessarily want to let disappear an opportunity if somebody wants to invest several $100 million or more in our city. Right? The opportunity for jobs and enhancing quality of life, as you mentioned, is important. On the other side, though, we have a budget that we all know how challenged our budget is. And, we don't have the resources to take money from other budget items and put it there. And the voters have already told us what their standard is when the voters passed I-91. Basically what I-91 said, what the voters told us is they don't want us, robbing Peter to pay Paul to build a stadium. They don't want us subsidizing a stadium in a way that loses the city money. And so we have very clear direction. And we have made that direction clear to the people that are approaching us, that we cannot be dipping into our other budget or coming up with entirely new taxes to make something like that happen. So that's where it stands right now. We have to respect the will of the voters. And by the way, I voted for I-91, right? And I'm trying to keep libraries open and community centers open and police on the street and human services available. And that's a hard line for me. At the same time, we do have to examine what are the things we can do that would take advantage of an opportunity to get a team back and a very significant investment in our city. How this is going to turn out, I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. There's a lot of reasons why this might not succeed. But we're taking it very seriously and trying to make sure we take advantage of a good opportunity if we get a good opportunity.
We'll move to the other side of the room here. We get a lot of questions.
One quick follow-up.
Quick follow-up. I'm all for limiting as much as possible, like taxing and having people come in. The amount gained by taxes by having those two teams, has that been taken into consideration, like the new revenue that would come in versus what we'd have to invest as a city?
That's one factor we'd have to look at. Revenues that would come to the city as a result of a new team, factoring that in. We also have to factor in, I'm just anticipating another question, what about KeyArena? That's another city asset that we have to be concerned about. So we're trying to look at all of the factors, which is in part why we not added a little bit to our team and got a couple of external experts too, so we could have a better understanding of what might happen.